Good morning, everyone. In the last class, we discussed about what is Spring Web MVC and how to develop our application by using Web MVC. And we also discussed what is a dispatcher servlet, what is a handler mapper, what is a controller, what is a model and view, what is a view resolver, and what is view component. All right. So can you guys tell me what is the dispatcher servlet? It is a predefined class. It is going to act as a front controller in the web MVC. Every request will be received by dispatcher servlet and it will process that and it will send the response back to the client. Dispatcher servlet will talk to one component called handler mapper. So what is the handler mapper? It is going to identify in our application which class is responsible, which controller should handle this request. Which controller method should handle the request will be identified by handler map. Then what is a controller? Controller is a Java class which is used to handle the request. The request processing will be taken care by controller and the controller will return model and view object to the dispatcher server. What is the model and view? What is the model and view? Model is a map which is used to represent the data in the form of key and value. Then what is the view? View represents the logical file name. What is the presentation page that we want to use? And the next one, view resolver is available. What is a view resolver? It is used to identify the view location. Which view should be displayed as a response to the user will be identified by view resolver. The next one, view component. What is the meaning of a view component? It is responsible to render model data on the view page and give it back to dispatcher servlet. Dispatcher servlet will send final response back to the client. Then next one, we are able to create one controller. So to create a controller, we are using one annotation called @controller. Inside the controller, we can write multiple methods. In one project, we can create multiple controllers. In one controller, we can create multiple methods also. We are mapping the controller to a method name URL pattern by using get mapping. So get mapping is used to map our method to HTTP get request. Okay. And we are able to send the data from controller to UI by using key and value. That key we are able to access in the view page. $key, we are able to get the view data. That means whatever the value available in the key, we are able to access that value by using its key name. Okay. Now you can create multiple controllers. You can create multiple pages in the application. You can send multiple key value pages also to the UI application. Okay, good. Next, I have given one assignment, how to retrieve the data from the table and display that data in the HTML page in a table format. In the database, we have a table. From the database, we need to get the table data. Employee data is available. We need to send that data to the UI page. And in the UI, we need to iterate the list of records available. And we need to print in the HTML table format. Are you guys able to complete that? Completed? Okay. Online students, is my voice clear? Online students, is my voice clear for you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, guys, so we understand what is the Spring Boot. We know what is the Spring Boot. First part, we understood what is the Spring Boot, how to create a Spring Boot application, how to run the Spring Boot application, dependency injection, auto wiring, we understood. And we also know what is the Spring Data JPA, how to perform CRUD operations with the table using Spring Data JPA concept. What is the CRUD repository and what is the JPA repository also we discussed as part of our Data JPA. And we also discussed about Spring Web MVC concept. We also discussed about Spring Web MVC. So by using Spring Boot, we can develop our applications with less configuration. IOC container will be available and it will take care of dependency injection. It will take care of auto wiring. By using this, we can create our applications. And by using the data JPA, we can perform operations with the database. CRUD operations we can perform. Custom queries we can write. Find by methods we can write. Predefined methods also we can use. By using this web MVC, we can develop a web application with UI pages. Timely if we are using to develop UI application. Now, from today onwards, we need to understand how to develop layered architecture applications. How to develop layered architecture applications. So what is layered architecture? Any idea? What is layered architecture? Guys, any idea what is layered architecture? Developing our application by using multiple layers. Develop application using multiple layers. Okay. What layers will be available? First, presentation layer will be available, which is nothing but UI. Presentation layer will be available, UI. That means we are going to develop HTML pages with the user interface. Okay. Then when you perform some operation in the presentation layer, it will go to web layer. Inside the web layer, our controllers will be available. They will take the request, they will process the request, and they will send the response back to the UI. Controllers will be available. Then next one, we are going to have business layer. We are going to have a business layer, which is also called as services. So in the application, services will be available. Inside the services, we can write our business logic. Then next one, data access layer will be available in our application. Data access layer, nothing but our repositories. So in every application, these 4 layers are common. So if you develop your application by using these 4 layers, then that is called as layered architecture. Application will be loosely coupled. Presentation layer will be available. Web layer will be available. Business layer will be available. Data access layer also will be available. What is the responsibility of the presentation layer? User interface will be available. Next one, web layer. What will be there in the web layer? Controllers will be available. What is the responsibility of the controller? Take the request, process, and send the response in the form of a model and view. Then what is the responsibility of the business layer? Business logic, data validation, sending the email, sending the OTP, do the calculation, generating an Excel file, creating a PDF file. All such kind of business logics we will implement by using service layer. And the next one, data access layer will be available. What we will develop in the data access layer? Repositories will be available. What is the purpose of the repository? To communicate with the database. CRUD operations. By using CRUD repository, by using JPA repository, you can call predefined methods, you can call find by methods, you can call custom queries also. Now, by using all these layers, we need to develop one application. By using all the layers, we need to develop one application. How that application is going to look like? So multiple layers we are going to implement. With the layers, we need to develop the application. So here, first, database. For every project, a database should be ready. So inside the database, we can create multiple tables based on the requirement. To communicate with the databases, we are going to create the repositories by extending CRUD repositories or JPA repository. To communicate with these repositories, we are going to create our services. Service classes will be available in order to communicate with the repositories. To communicate with the services, we are going to create controller classes. To communicate with the services, we are going to create our controllers. Controller classes will be available. To communicate with these controllers, UI pages will be available. So multiple UI pages, multiple controllers, multiple services, multiple repositories will be available. End user will communicate with the UI. UI will communicate with a controller. Controller will communicate with a service. Service will communicate with the repository. Repository will communicate with the database. This is the execution flow of any project. Whatever the project you take, this is the execution flow we are going to follow. So here, if you observe, repository object we need to inject into service, guys. Repository object we need to inject into service layer. Service object we need to inject into controller layer. So we need to perform dependency injection. UI, HTML page will talk to controller directly. Controller should call the service. Then service object we need to inject into controller. And service should call the repository method. Repository object we need to inject into service layer. So by using this architecture, we need to develop our application. From now onwards, every project that we are creating should follow the same architecture. In future, UI will not be available. Instead of controller, REST controller will come into picture. When you go for the REST controller, user interface will not be available. But currently we are developing a web application. In the web application, UI will be there, controller will be available, service will be available, repository will be available, database also will be available. Are you clear with my point? Yes. Now, so the requirement that we have given, right? Develop one web application to capture the student data using HTML form and insert into database table using data JPA. Develop application to capture form data and insert into table using data JPA. So this is form development I have given as one task. And retrieve the existing records and display in the UI page. That is another record that we have given. Now, let us take a requirement. I'm going to take one requirement here. This requirement will contain a form. Name will be available, email will be available, and phone number will be available. So these are the text fields we are going to take: name, email, phone number. And there will be one submit button will be available in order to insert the data. There will be one submit button in order to insert the data. And below this submit button, I'm going to give one hyperlink here. That hyperlink is view all students. Whatever the students that you are inserting, we need to display all the students in the another page, guys. It is something like a mini project we are going to develop. So there will be one form where we need to insert the data. So there is name, email, phone number is available, and I will click on submit button. When you click on the submit button, you need to take the data from the form and you need to insert into database table. That is one thing. And the second thing, whenever you click on this view all students, but link, hyperlink will be available, then you need to display all the students data in the another page in the table format. View students, here serial number, name of the student, email of the student, and phone number will be available. Student number 1, something like John, some email ID will be available, okay, and some phone number. Similarly, 2, some Smith is available, s@in.com, and some mobile number will be available. So this is a table. I need to represent all the students' data in the table format like this. Right here, I will give one more navigation. Add student. Add button I am going to provide. So when I click on add button, then it will come back to the previous page. When I click on submit button, record will be inserted to table. When I click on the hyperlink, all the records will be displayed in the another page. So this is our requirement. We need to develop this application by using layered architecture. So Spring Boot we are going to use to start the IOC container, to perform the dependency injection. For rapid application development, we are going with the Spring Boot. Data JPA to communicate with the database table. Spring Web MVC to develop the controllers and UI pages. So whatever the concepts we have learned so far, by using all these concepts, we need to develop our requirement. Look at the requirement once again. Students management. We are developing students management, adding the student, retrieving the students. Edit and delete I have not given. So once we are able to complete this, then I will add the functionality to edit the student, update the student, delete the student also. First, if you are able to complete this requirement, then we will go for the next functionality. What is the enhancement for this one? Edit the student, update the student, delete the student. Okay, good. If you can develop this requirement, then we can understand Spring Web MVC clearly. What we can do by using Spring Web MVC. Any questions on the requirement? Primary key will be auto-generated. Generated value we will use. Yes. In the JPA, we did not discuss that, right? Now I am going to explain that part. So we are not taking the student ID. What about the ID? ID will be auto-generated by using a generator concept in the data JPA. Okay. Any other questions? Spring Boot, Data JPA, Web MVC. Three concepts we are going to integrate and we are going to develop a project.
Sir, what happens if we can modify the primary?
We should not, sir. Primary keys we should not modify. Primary key should be unique. That's why we are not asking the user to enter the primary key. We don't take the primary keys from the user, and primary keys once inserted, we don't modify them. Is it clear? Any confusion? Now, in order to develop this project, first we need to prepare the design. What are the classes we need to create? What are the methods we need to take to develop this requirement? Okay. So the first one, students management, develop. So the functionality, add student data, retrieve students, and this. So these are the two functionalities we are going to take. One is adding the student record in the table and retrieve existing students from the database and display those student records. All right. So any questions on the requirement part first? Do you have any questions on the requirement part? No questions? Yes. So now, what is the first step we need to do? The step one, create Spring Boot application with the below dependencies. Right? So the first one, we need to take a web starter. We are developing a web application. Second one, we are going to use time leaf. So take the time leaf as a dependency. And the next one, JPA starter, data JPA starter, and MySQL driver. And the next one, we are going to use DevTools dependency. So you need to create one Spring Boot application. We need to create one Spring Boot application. In that Spring Boot application, we need to add these 5 dependencies. One is a web starter. Second one is a time leaf. Third one is JPA starter. Fourth one is MySQL. Fifth one is DevTools. Why we are adding a web starter? To create a web application. To create a web application and to get the embedded container, we are going for web starter. What is the purpose of time leaf? UI part. Data JPA starter to communicate with the database table by using repository. MySQL driver to get the connection from the MySQL database. DevTools, which is used to restart the server when there is a code change. Next, once it is completed, then step 2, configure data source properties in application.properties file. With which database you want to communicate? The database base properties. Those are called as the data source properties. Those are data source properties we need to configure in the application.properties file. So once that step is completed, then step 3, create entity class and repository interface. Create entity class and repository interface. What is the meaning of entity? Which is used to map with the database table. Map this with the database table. Repository to perform the CRUD operation. Then next one, step 4, create service interface. Create service interface and implementation. We are going to create one service interface and implementation with the required methods. So interface will contain abstract methods. In that interface, we can take the methods and we are going to implement them by using one IMPL class. So once the service is ready, then step 5, create controller class to handle request and response. So one method to add the student, one method to retrieve the student. Two methods we need to take here. Once the controller is ready, then step 6, create view pages. So those are basically HTML pages with the time loops. Once it is done, then run the application and test. So these are the 7 steps we need to complete. If we complete these 7 steps, then our application will be ready. So that application is a layered architecture application. So whatever the application we are developing, that application is called as layered architecture based application. So in this application, we are having presentation layer. We are going to have the web layer. We will have business layer and we will have data access layer also. Are you clear? Now, what is the step 1? Come on. Create a boot application with the dependencies. What are the dependencies available? Web starter is available. Timeleaf available. JPA starter, MySQL, DevTools. Okay. Once the project is created, what is the second step, guys? Configure data source properties in the properties file. URL, username, password, show SQL, DDL auto, data source properties we can configure. Then next one, create entity class and repository interface. What is the purpose of entity? It is used to map our Java class with the database table. And what is a repository? How many repositories available? 2 repositories. One is a CRUD repository, another one is a JPA repository. Then next one, create a service interface and implementation with the required methods. So we can create one service interface and we can provide implementation for that service methods. The next one, we need to create a controller class which is going to handle our request and response. Create the view pages. HTML pages will be available with the time limit. Then finally, run the application and test that application. Are you clear with this now? Yeah, let's start the development. Create one Spring Boot application, file new. Spring Starter project. Yeah, project name. So I'm going to give the project name as Students Management Application. Students Management Application that we are going to create. Type of the project, which is Maven. Packaging, anything is fine. Jar or var. Java version 17. Group ID we are taking as in.ashokit. Package name also we are going to take as in.ashokit. Click on next. Yeah. Spring Boot version. Latest version we are taking, which is 3.3.2. Dependencies we need to select. First one, Spring Web dependency we need to take, guys. Spring Web. time leaf, data JPA, MySQL driver, and dev tools. All right. Yeah. So dev tools available, JPA, MySQL driver, time leaf, and web dependency available. Click on next, click on finish. So with this, our project is getting created. Two? Okay, no problem. No, that is fine. Anything is fine. You can create as a jar or var also. If you create with the var, initializer class will be created.
And packaging you can change.
Yes, yes, you can change it to the var. Project. Refresh. Maven, update the project. Force update. Yes, it is not created properly. Delete it. Let me go to initializer website. Start.spring.io. Maven 3.3.2 group ID in.ashok IT. So this is students management app. A package name I'm taking as in.ashok IT. Java 17 dependencies I can select here. Dev tools, and we can add Spring Web Starter, and we can add data JPA. We can add MySQL driver, and we can add time loop. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dependencies available. Click on generate. So the project is generated and it is downloaded as a zip file. Let me extract this zip file. Yeah, project is available. Yeah, we need to import this project into IDE. Let me take it from here. Workspace. Yes. Go to IDE, import the project. Maven project it is. Existing Maven project, browse, select it, click on finish. So as it is a new version of the Spring Boot, it is going to download all the dependencies again. Yes, we got the project. Form.xml. So data JPA, time leaf, web starter, dev tools, MySQL driver. We have dependencies. Start class is also available. Then configure data source properties. We completed the first step, creating the project. Then we need to configure data source properties. Okay. So to configure data source properties, spring.datasource.url, spring.datasource.username, spring dot data source dot password. Okay, then spring dot show SQL we can configure. Show SQL is equal to true, and DDL auto I want hibernate.ddl auto. I'm going to give this as update. So what is the meaning of show SQL, guys? It is going to display SQL queries on the console. What is the purpose of DDL auto? It is going to generate the tables. If the tables are not available, it is going to generate the tables also. All right. Next one. Once this step is completed, then we need to create the entity and repository. So to create the entity, let us go to the package. Start class is there. New class. I'm keeping a package called entity package. Taking a class with a name called student. Take a class with a name called student. Now, inside this, we need to take the variables. Primitives are wrapper. Wrapper. Integer, student ID, and string, student name, and string, email, long, phone number. Okay. So these are the variables we are taking. Integer, student ID, string name, string email, long, phone number. So this is a normal Java class now. I want to make it as an entity class. How to make it as an entity class? Yes, we are going to use one annotation, which is @entity. So @entity annotation I need to use. Yeah. Table. Table is mandatory or table is optional. Table is optional. So no need to give that. And primary key. How to represent the primary key? @ID. @ID annotation we are using, which is going to take it is a primary key. Am I taking the primary key from the user, or I'm not taking the primary key from the user? No. Primary key should be auto-generated. To generate the primary key, there is a concept called generated value. And the strategy is equal to identity. I'm using strategy is equal to identity. If you use @generated value with the strategy as an identity, that means student ID will be auto incremented. In the data JPA, this is one of the pending concept for us. Generators concept in the JPA. What is the purpose of generators? To generate the value for the primary key column in the table. So end user will not give the ID in the form. They are giving only name, email ID, phone number. But we need to insert the record in the table along with the primary key column. So primary key we are going to auto generate. For that we are using generated value. Strategy is equal to identity strategy. Okay, that's it. So this is my entity class. This is my entity class. Now I want to create one repository. I want to create one repository. So let's go here, create one interface. So dot repo package I'm taking. If you observe, I'm following base package naming convention. So all the remaining packages are starting with the base package name only. Student repository is available. So this is a normal interface. I want to make it as a JPA interface. So what I need to do now? I need to extend from JPA repository. So what is the entity for that? Student is the entity and the type of the primary key, which is a integer. Now, so student repository extending the properties from the JPA repository. Student repository extending the properties from JPA repository. Fine. So with this, project creation completed. Data source properties are configured. Entity class repository is also ready. The next step, we need to create a service interface, guys. We need to create a service interface. What is the purpose of service? To perform the business operation. In.ashokit.service, the interface name I'm taking as student service. So I'm taking the interface name as a student service. So inside the service, we need to write the methods. Now, what all the methods we need to write in the service depends on the requirement. So now observe our requirement. What operations we can do? One is save the student. Another one is retrieve the student. Save the student, retrieve the student. So how many operations are there? Two operations are there. So how many methods are required? Two methods. One is save student, another one is get students. Two methods we need to write. And when you are writing the methods also, you need to be very careful with the parameters of the methods, return types of the methods. Now I am taking public, boolean, save student. I'm taking student object as a parameter. Okay. Student data will be entered in the form. Form data I'm taking as a method parameter. My method is going to insert the record and it will return true or false value. True means record inserted. False means record not able to insert. Save student is a method which is used to insert the record and return the true or false value. Then what is the next method? Get all the students available in the table. Now I'm going to write public list of student, get all student. Any parameter required? Parameter is not required. We just need to retrieve all the records available in the table. So one method is save student method. Another method is retrieve all the students. So I'm taking two methods here. This is the biggest problem for the people. They are not a today morning project batch. How many people attending? Only one person. Two. So many people are doing the blunder mistakes in the analysis part. When I give you a requirement, they are not able to understand what all the methods they need to take, what parameters we need to take for the method, what return type we need to take for the method. So this is very simple requirement. Saving the student, retrieving the student. You should have the maturity. Why I am taking object as a parameter? Why I am taking boolean as a return type? Here, why I am not taking any parameter? Why I am taking list of student as a return? It depends on the requirement. So I want to save a student. Student form is available. So form data I will get in the form of an object. Object I am taking as a method parameter. After inserting the record, I need to display either success message or failure message. True means success, false means failure. The next one, get all the students. Already in the database, students will be inserted. So more than one student can be available in the database. So we need to retrieve all the student records and we need to display in the UI page here. So that's why I'm writing a method which is not taking any parameter, which is giving list of object as a return. Are you clear? So save student, get all the students. These are abstract methods. Now I need to provide implementation for these methods. I need to provide implementation for these methods. So let me go and create one IMPL. New class student service IMPL. Student service IMPL. It is going to implement one interface which is called student service. Student service interface available. Okay. Click on finish. So with this, my IMPL class is ready. So this class I want to represent as a Spring Bean. Service IMPL is available. I want to represent this class as a Spring Bean. How to represent as a Spring Bean? We are going to use one annotation called @service. Then this class will be represented as a Spring Bean. Now, this class wants to talk to repository. My service should talk to repository. Then what I need to do? Repository should be injected to service. So can I say dependency injection? Yes. How many ways we can perform dependency injection? 3 ways. What are those 3 ways? Setter, constructor, field. Which one is better? Constructor. Now can you tell me how to perform constructor injection now? I need to take a constructor. Inside that I need to take a parameter. What is that parameter? Student repository. I'm taking as a parameter. Then I need to declare the variable private student repository rep, inject it, initialize this dot repo is equal to. Do I need to write auto void annotation? No. Why? Why auto void annotation not required here? There is only one parameter the constructor available. IOC container should create the object for my target class. When the object is creating for the target, it will call the constructor. This constructor already expecting the repository object. So it will pass the repository as a parameter. Then this dot repo is equal to repo. We are initializing the variable through constructor. So can I call it as a constructor injection? Yes, it is a constructor injection. Okay. Save the student. What is the meaning of save the student? Insert a record in the table. What is the method available to insert a record? Do I need to write a find by method? Custom query? No. How to insert a record in the table? Save, predefined method. Come on. How to call the save method? Repo dot save. Pass the student object. Pass the student object. It is going to return saved student object. Okay. It is going to return saved student object. Now, in this method, I need to return true or false value. True means record is inserted. False means record is not inserted. If the record is inserted, I will get the ID for the student. ID. Am I inserting the ID or auto-generating the ID? Auto-generating. Now what I will do? Return saved student dot getter. So getters and setters we need to generate. Select the setters and getters for the variables. Yes, I have generated setters and getters for my variables. Now when I come here, get student ID, if it is not equal to null, then it is going to return true. If ID not equal to null, this method will return true value. If ID is null, it will return false value. If it is true, record is inserted. If it is false, record is not inserted. Now look at that method. Save student method is available. Repository.save. I'm passing the entity object. It will return the saved object for me. In the saved object, ID will be available, which is auto-generated. If ID is not equal to null, record is inserted, I will return true. If ID is null, this method will return false. Are you clear? So with this, we are able to implement save student functionality. Then what is the next one? What is the next one? Get all the students. So I want to retrieve all the records from the table. What is the method available? So simply I can do return repository dot find all. That's it. Repository dot find all will return list of student object. You can do like this also. Repository dot find all. It is going to return list of student objects. I can return. Storing in a variable, returning them. Instead of that, directly can I write like this? Can I write like this directly? Yes. So what I am doing here? Return repo.find all. What is the meaning of that? So in the return statement, we are calling the method. Whatever is written by this method, that will be written by our method. So instead of doing in the two variables, guys, you can do like this, right? Control 1, enter. What happened now? I called a method. I stored that into a variable. Now I can return that variable. 2 lines of code. So repository.find all, which will give list of student objects. I'm returning them. Instead of writing these 2 lines of code, you can write this logic in the single line also. How to write in the single line? Return repo.find. What is the meaning of that? My method is returning repository.find all method. So here, when I return repo.find all, what will happen? It will call find all method. What find all method will do? list of objects it will return. My method will return the list of objects. Whatever we are getting as an output from the find all method, our method will return the same thing. So instead of writing 2 lines of code, we can write in the single line of. Are you clear with this one? Yes. Yeah, with this our service layer is also ready. With this our service layer is ready. Any confusion here? We created one IMPL. We are implementing an interface. Inside the interface, 2 methods available. Save student, get student. Save student means insert the record in the table. Get students means retrieve the records from the table. To save the record, predefined method available. To retrieve the records also, predefined method is available. Look at the 2 methods. 1 line of code only we are writing. In each method, only 1 line of code we are. Clear? Yes. Now, so with this, our service is also ready. What is the next one? We need to create a controller class in order to handle the request and response. New class controller. Keep that in a package. Controller package. So class name, I'm taking this as a student controller. How to represent this as a controller? What is the annotation? At the rate of controller. At the rate of controller annotation, I'm taking. My controller will talk to service. So what I need to do now? Service object I need to inject into the controller. Okay. So constructor I'm taking. Student controller. Student service. Let us take a variable private student service. Right. So with this, service object is injected into controller. Now, inside the controller, how many methods I need to write? Look at the requirement. Two methods, one method, 3 methods, 4 methods. We need to write 3 methods. One method to display empty form. One method is required to display the empty form. All right. One method to handle the submit button. One method to handle the hyperlink. So total we need to write 3 methods in the control. One method is required to load the page, to load the empty page, to load the empty form. We need one method. And one method we need to write it to handle the form submission. Another method we need to write to display the data in the table form. So total we need to take 3 methods here. Now, let me write 3 methods. First one, method to display empty form. Okay. Next one, method to save student form data. Next one, method to get all students. So how many methods are required? Total 3 methods are required. Why we need 3 methods, guys? Method to display empty form. Method to save form data. Method to handle all the method to get all the students data. Is it clear? Yes. So first method, public. What is the return type? Model and view index. Model and view index. Okay. I'm writing one method, model and view index. Now create model and view MAV is equal to new model and view. MAV dot set view name. I will give the name as index and I will return model and view. Okay. This method I will map to get mapping slash empty. I'm not giving any URL pattern. Empty URL pattern means index method will be called. What is that index method is going to do? It will return index page. What is my index page? Empty page where I will display student form. Where I will display student form. Is this clear? Good. So I'm writing one method which is used to display the empty form. For this form, I'm giving the name as index. Index page I am taking. What will be there in the index page now? Student form will be available in the index page. Okay. Next one. One method to save the student form data. I need one method to save the student form data. So now let me write public model and view. Handle submit button. What is that method? Handle submit button. Now I want to return same page. Index page only I am going to return because when the student is saved, I want to display success message on the same page, right? Here only I will display success message or error message. Student saved successfully or there is some error to save the student. I want to display the success message on the same page. So that's why whenever you click on this submit button, the second method will be called handle submit button. After saving the student, I will send the same page as a response, index page only, but I will send success message, error message to the same page. Okay. So this method you can take as a get mapping, you can take as a post map. So first I will show you the problem with the get mapping, then I will go for the post map. What is the problem with the get mapping? I will show you. Then I will change that to the post map. Get mapping, and I am going to write the URL pattern as submit, or I will write save student. URL pattern I am writing as save student. So form is submitted. How to get the form data? In the servlet, how you will get the form data? Request.get para. Now, is it recommended to write request.get parameter in the application? Multiple forms will be available. Every form will contain multiple fields also. It is not recommended to write the logic to capture form data separate. So in the Spring Boot, you no need to capture form data manually. You just take the object as a parameter. Dispatcher servlet will capture your form data, will store into the object. That is called form binding. There is a concept called form binding. You no need to write the logic to capture the form data. You submit the form. Dispatcher servlet will take your form data, will store into your object, will give the object as a parameter for you. Then what you need to do, simply you call your service dot save student with the object. What the service method is returning? Boolean is save. Now inside the controller, I have injected my service. Now controller is having a method save student. When the form is submitted, request will come to this method. Okay. In this method, I am taking object as a parameter. Who is going to call the controller method? Come on. Controller method, I am going to call dispatcher servlet will call my controller. My method is expecting a object as a parameter. What is the meaning of expecting a object? I am telling to the dispatcher servlet, boss, a form will be submitted. You take the form data, you store into student object, you give me the student object as a parameter. That student object I will pass to my service method. What my service method will do? It will insert the record into table and it will return true or false value. It will return true or false value. Now what I am going to do? If is saved, if it is true, that means record is inserted. Else, record is not inserted. Okay. Model and view object I am creating. And here I am calling Boolean is saved. What is the meaning of Boolean is saved? What is the meaning of Boolean is saved? True. True. Then if it is true, what I will do? MAV dot add object success message student saved. Okay. If it is false, MAV dot add object, then I will say error message. Error message student saved and failed to save. That's it. Then I am setting the view name as a index only. Okay. So can I say here I'm sending the data from controller to UI? Can I say that I'm sending data from controller to UI? How to send the data from controller to UI? Key value. Model dot add object of key comma value. So if the record is inserted successfully, service method will return true. If it is true, I'm sending a success message. If it is false, I'm sending a error. Then what is the view page I am returning? Index. Why index only? I want to display success message and error messages on the same page. So when you go and access empty URL pattern, you will get the index page. You will get the index page. And when you submit the student also, you will get the index zone, because I want to take the data from the form and I want to display success or error message on the same page. Is this clear? Look at these two methods in the controller now. What is the first method purpose? To display the empty form. Okay. What is the form? What is the page we are returning? Index. So we should create a index.html. Then what is this method? Save student. What is the purpose of this method? What is the purpose of this method? Whenever you submit the form, take the form data, insert the record into database, send a success message or error message. Is this clear? Look at that. Why I am taking object as a parameter for the controller method? To capture the form data in the form of object, which is called form binding. So in the servlet, you need to write request.get parameter. But in the Spring MVC, it is not required. You don't need to write the request.get parameter to capture the form data. So the data will come in the form of object direct. The data is coming in the form of object direct. Okay. Next, I need to write one more method to get the students' data. So what is the meaning of this? Get all the students and display in the UI. So this method is responsible to handle this hyperlink. When you click on the hyperlink, I need to get the data. I need to display in the UI. Okay. So go here. Public, model, and view. Model and view. Get all students. Gets all students. Yeah. Service dot get all students. What they are returning now? List of all students. So can I say here students list now? So this is a student list. I want to send this data to the UI. How to send the data to UI? Yes, create the model and view object and send the data to the UI in the form of key and value. Okay, MAV dot add object key anything students. What is the value? Students list. Then I'm going to set MAV dot set to view name. I'm going to not index. Students something. Any page name. Students data page or any page name I can give. Display students data. Students.html page I'm going to map it to a get request at the rate get mapping get date. Something like this. Then I'm going to return. That's it. Look at this method. I'm writing a method in the controller with a name called get data. I'm writing a method in the controller with a name called get data. So what this method is doing, whenever a get request comes to this method, it will get the service dot get all students, which will give students list object. The student list object I'm sending to the UI by using model and view add object key comma value. Then view name students I'm returning. Okay. So what are the how many view pages we are taking in our application now? Two. What are those two pages names? Index and students. Or else you can take it as a data.html. That's it. So with this, our controller methods are ready. Controller methods are talking to service. Now look at the diagram. So are we able to fulfill these things now?
Yes, sir.
Controller is available, talking to service. Service available, talking to repository. Repository will talk to database. What is pending now? UI part is pending. Okay. Where to create the UI pages? Templates. New file index.html. Okay. Next one, data.html. Yes. Index.html is available. Data.html is available. Okay. First, let us see. Index.html is working on. This is index page. This is a data page. This is index page. Okay. So inside the index page, I will write one hyperlink. Ahref is equal to get data. View all students. Just I'm writing one hyperlink. In the data.html, href is equal to add new student. All right, just a dummy. In the index.html, I'm writing this is index page. I'm giving one hyperlink. When you click on the hyperlink, what it will do? Get data. What is the meaning of get data? Data page. In the data page, what I'm doing? Add new, just navigation I have established. There is no logic. Can we run the application and check it now? Refresh. Go to the start class. Run as boot application. Java build path. Java 13 is used. Is there any problem with the ID? This is old IDE up to Java 12 only it is supporting. That's why I'm not able to start. I need minimum Java 17. Then in the last class, which IDE I have used? Let me download the latest IDE. In my system, whatever the IDE I am using, it is Spring Toolsuit 3, not supporting for Java 17. Download the Spring Toolsuit 4. I will just start this IDE. I will import the project into that new IDE. Okay. Let me close my existing IDE. In the workspace, project is available. It is taking time. Java 17 is available. Or else we can do one thing. I'm packaging this project from the command prompt, mvn clean package. Database URL we have not configured. JDBC colon MySQL colon localhost colon 3306 /. Is this correct? JDBC colon MySQL colon localhost colon 3306. Creating a new database already exists. Then use it. There are no tables available. Database is available. SBMS 45. Database credentials. So this is username and password. Let's try to run this application. So I think the credentials are incorrect. This is my username, password, URL. Let's try to run now. We are able to start the application successfully. It is creating a table. Create table student. Now, if you see the student ID, auto increment is available. What is the meaning of auto increment? We no need to set the value. Then clear the console. Go to the database and verify. Table is created or not. Show tables. Student table got created. Select a star from student. Any record is available? No. There is no record available. Go to our controller and see the URL pattern. What is the URL pattern available? First URL pattern, /. So go to browser, simply localhost : default port number 8080. Hit the URL. So what is the page we are getting? Index page is coming. Click on view all students. Then what page is coming? Data page. Add student, index page is coming. View students, data page is coming. So navigation is working. Now we need to develop a form, and when we submit the form, it should display a success message and the record should be inserted into table. When I click on view all students, data should come display in the table form. Clear? Now, in order to display that form, I'm going to use Bootstrap. You know Bootstrap, right? So let's go to get to bootstrap.com. Get bootstrap.com. Take the example of the Bootstrap. Go to document. Yeah. So take the Bootstrap and JS combination here. Copy this one and go to index.html. Go to index.html. Add the Bootstrap content here. Then go to data.html. add the bootstrap content here. What is the advantage of adding the bootstrap? Some styles you can apply. The button colors, table structure, you can apply beautifully. Now go to that. Once the bootstrap is added, then refresh. Bootstrap is loaded. Hello world is coming. Then go back, slash this one. Hello world is coming. Then go to data also. Then get data. There is a method called get data method is available. So hello world is loading. Okay. The page is coming along with the bootstrap. Now, so in this index.html body, hello world is available, right? Here I will give student form and I will give one hyperlink. Ahref is equal to something view all students. For this, what is the controller name? URL path. Get data. Now take this one, go to data.html and we will say view students. Here, one hyperlink empty. So this is add new student. That's it. Now refresh, view students, and new student is coming. If I click on add new student, student form page is coming. View student, add student. Navigation is working. But margins are coming, margins are not coming for the page. Margins are not coming. So if you are not getting the margins, then you need to keep one div. Div class is equal to contain. If you keep your data inside the container, then you will get the margins also. Same thing for the index.html also. Take this data, keep div class is equal to contain. Inside this, we are keeping. Now check it. Are we getting the margin now? Yes. Student form, view students. Margins are coming. Now I can write a form. In the index.html, a form tag we can write. Form, action. We can write a form with some action. And inside the form, you can write one table. You can write table. Inside that tr. Okay. Inside that td. Just UI. TD, one more TD, one more T. Here I will take it as a name and I will take input type text field. Input type is equal to text. Name is equal to some name. Right. So let us refresh. Name field is coming. Okay. I want a button. Just I will add the remaining fields also. Meanwhile, I will add one button. How to add a button? Input type is equal to submit. Value is equal to save. A button I have added. Refresh. Save button is coming. Button is not looking good. I want to apply a color for the button. To apply a color for the button, let us add a bootstrap class. Class is equal to button, button hyphen primary. I'm making it as a primary button. When I make it as a primary button, coming as a blue color. If you want to give as a red color button, then you need to give button danger. If you give button primary, blue color. If you give button danger, red color button is coming. So like this, you can apply the bootstrap colors for that. I'm giving it as a primary button. Right. Now refresh. Yes. Similar to this, name. I want email and I want phone number. Email, phone number. Input type is equal to email and input type is equal to number. So you can make them as required, mandatory. Without entering the data, you can't submit the form. I'm adding required. Refresh. Now form is ready. If you submit, please fill out this field. Enter something. Enter the data. Enter the data. Email ID should be valid email ID. So like this, view students, add student. So you without entering the data, you can't submit the form, right? Form is ready. So as per our requirement, name, email, phone number. So we are able to get the form with the name, email, phone number. Now, the most important part here, action. What is the form action? URL. What is that URL? Save student. Copy this URL. Keep this as save student. And the most important thing, field name. Input type is equal to text name. That the name you need to give here. Your bind entity class variables are there, right? Name is equal to this name I am giving, and this one email ID is available. Then only binding will happen. Name is equal to email. Take this phone number and give the phone number. So this, whatever the value you are giving, it should match with your Java class variable. Then only form data will be stored to Java object. Now, I want to display success message and error message here. PTH colon text is equal to dollar of yes message. Nothing but our success message. Same thing, dollar of e message. Success message and error message I want to display on the same page. Okay. This is just HTML page, guys. Just I created one form. That's it. Now, let us stop the project and start it. Check the database table. Select star from student. Any record is available? No. Start our application. Go to start class. Run the project. Console. Application started. Now go to this page. Add the student. Currently no record in the table. Add the student, phone number, some value. Click on save. I'm getting student, save. Go to database, select star from student, record is inserted in the table. Now you can add one more student also. Some Raj, gmail.com, phone number, some value. Click on save. Student save. Go to database, select star from student. The record is inserted in the table. Now when I click on view students, currently I am not getting anything. I want to display the data in the table format. Okay. How to display the data in the table format? Data.html. So here we have the page. In this page, we need to display the data in the table. Okay. So you need to take one table, right? You need to take a table. Inside the table, tr, table row. Inside that, t-head, t-head, okay, th, something like a serial number or directly name. Email, phone number. Okay. Name, email, phone number. It is not coming properly. The table structure is not proper. Then give a class is equal to table. Bootstrap class is equal to table. Now refresh. It is coming as a proper table. So this is advantage with the Bootstrap. Now I can give table border. Border also will come for the table. Border is also coming for the table. Now I can give table border and a table striped. Stripes also will come for the table. Every row, every alternate row will be highlighted. Now name, email, phone number is coming. But what about the table body? Okay. So tr, table head is completed. Now another table row. In that we need to take t body. T body. In the T body, TD we need to take. Okay. So in the TD, name, email, phone number we need to display. So when you want to display the data, data is coming from the controller in the form of a key. What is our key here? Students. I want to iterate the list in the table. How to iterate the list in the table? th colon each. th colon each is equal to student colon dollar of students. That's it. You got my point. So this is the collection that I am sending from the controller. Key and value. By using this key, I want to access this value. So for this, I'm using th colon each. What is the meaning of th colon each? I want to iterate the key. Dollar. What is the meaning of dollar of key? What is the meaning of dollar of key? To get the value of that key. So in that key, what is the value available? To list is available. What is the meaning of to list? List of students we are having. List of students we are having. In this list, get one student, store in the S variable. Then here I'm going to use dollar of S dot name. Dollar of S dot name. Let us try this. S dot name is not working. That's not the issue. th colon text is equal to dollar of S dot name. S dot name is coming. Body, that is not a problem. th colon text is equal to dollar of S dot name. Here it is closed. th colon text is equal to dollar of S dot name. Should work. S dot name. th colon text. Something is missing here, guys. th colon text is equal to dollar of S dot name. Let's do one. How to iterate a list in the time leaf. User colon dollar of users th colon each. th colon text is equal to dollar of S dot name. It's correct, no? The tr td, correct, right? th colon each. Yes colon dollar of students. td th colon text. Yes is available. S dot name. Is it name only? Yes, name only. Get data. Right. Name, email, phone. Yeah. So now go to database, select star from student. There are 2 records available in the table. Now go and add one more record, Smith, gmail.com, some number, click on save. Student saved successfully. View the students. So there are 3 records available we are getting. So this is styles we are getting because of the bootstrap, right? Click on add a new student, add one more student, 4th student I'm adding @gmail.com and phone number. Save it. Student saved, view students, 4 records are available. If I click on add new student, first page is coming. If I click on view students, the data is coming. So now I want you people to try developing this application too. So the UI bootstrap, if you are not aware, no problem. Basic UI, if you can develop, that is okay. So the main important part, services and controller that you are going to develop. Try to develop this application today. If not, tomorrow once again, we will debug the code line by line and we will understand how it is working. So this is the task for you today. I'm not going to share the code now. I want you people to try this first. Okay. Any questions? Thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. And yeah. Without interface also you can write a service, but not recommended. The recommended approach is first create the service, then provide the implementation for the service.
Hello, sir.
Loosely. For loosely coupling, controller will never talk to service IMPL directly. Controller will talk to service, service will talk to service IMPL.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I will check that. I will tell you. You can take a screenshot. Huh? This is what you need to download. Or else I will post in the group. No issue. Content, HTML code that you need to develop. HTML page develop, form, basic form. There is nothing time leaf in the HTML page. Index.html is a basic HTML form. There is no time leaf here. Data.html. Okay, this one. I will send this. I will add this in the notes. Okay, good. Thank you guys.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Sir, tools class is completed, sir.
Your voice is not audible, sir.
Tools classes are completed, sir.
Yes, sir. Some tools are completed, some tools are pending. So tools will discuss the pending tools in the coming classes.
Okay, sir. Agile and Jira are not posted in the group, sir. I am meet the admin, sir. Contact the admin is not upload the Jira and Agile.
Regarding
Sir. Recording not updated, sir. I am purchased recording also, sir.
సార్ నాకు అర్థం కాలేదు జగదీష్ మీరు ఏమంటున్నారు
సార్ నేను అంటే మీరు జీరా వేరే బ్యాచ్ చెప్పాను మీరు అప్లోడ్ చేసుకుని అడ్మిన్ కాంటాక్ట్ అని చెప్పారు కదా సార్
ఓకే సార్ నేను చూస్తాను సార్
నేను చెప్పింటే వాళ్ళు అప్డేట్ చేయలేదు మీ గ్రూప్ లో మెసేజ్
సరే,
చేయండి
నేను
చైనా
చేస్తాను.
కూడా అవ్వదు ఓకే సార్
ఓకే ఓకే డన్
క్రాఫ్ నెక్స్ట్ క్రాఫ్ జెకిన్స్ నెక్స్ట్ చెప్తారా సార్
ఓకే ఓకే డన్
Hello.
యా హాయ్ సార్
Hello, sir. So I just want to know, like, you pass the request body through the get mapping. So basically, we use post, right?
Sir, that is what, sir. Tomorrow, so this project is not completed, sir. I will tell you what is the problem with the get map.
All right, fine. Thank you.
I will tell you what is the problem with the get map.
All right, thank you, sir.
సార్ వన్ క్వశ్చన్ సార్ ఈ ఎస్టిఎస్ ఐడి యూజ్ చేసినా కానీ స్ప్రింగ్ ఇనిషియలైజర్ యూజ్ చేయాలా సార్ అగైన్
Yes. అంటే STS అవసరం లేదు సార్ నా దాంట్లో ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది కాబట్టి అది యూజ్ చేశాను
కాకపోతే మామూలు ఎస్టిఎస్ ఐడి యూజ్ చేస్తే స్ప్రింగ్ ఇనిషియలైజర్ యూజ్ చేయక్కలేదు కదా
అవసరం లేదు
ఓకే సార్ సార్ ఇది జావా రన్ టైమ్ అప్లికేషన్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా సార్ జేఆర్టీపీ ఆన్ 7:00 క్లాస్
7 దాంట్లో
ఇప్పుడు మేము జాయిన్ అవ్వాలంటే ఏదైనా డిస్కౌంట్ ఉందా సార్
discount is not there, sir. We are already giving for the best price on that, sir.
ఓకే అంటే మీరు ఒక ప్రాజెక్ట్ మినీ ప్రాజెక్ట్ స్టార్ట్ చేశారు. నౌ వీఆర్ అనేబుల్ టు
Yes, sir. So because
Login.
for Spring Boot people that is not available, right?
correct. Yeah, just want to join. If there is any
Okay.
discount.
Okay. You can talk to admin team.
Okay, sir. Thank you.